I'm sunning with the max B. That means I'm a goof off the truth. Sid from Hey Arnold. You can get capped with a long nose if I reach off the boot. And I ain't never leaving the block. Cause stoop kids are afraid to get off the stoop.
Feeling a little bit sick at the moment. I don't know what it is. It's like a cold or the flu or whatever. But I'm doing all right. Mostly just like sinus stuff and all that. But yeah, man, I wasn't really like sure like kind of where to go with this. One thing is well, let me start with you. I met you in the battle rap scene, right? We actually had a battle together on Showtime, or against each other. Not when I say together, it's like not like a 2v2. And then in addition to that, you're also you host a podcast called The Wrestling Republic, or you're one of the hosts on it, right?
Yeah, I'm one of the hosts on the Wrestling Republic daily broadcast. I'm the one of the main just the Wrestling Republic platform. There's a couple shows that I partake in. The daily broadcast is our weekly broadcast show, but I also am one of the main hosts for NXT Off the Air, which is a post show for NXT right after
Okay, fine.
NXT's done. And then we have the Wrestling Republic podcast. Myself, salute to Ben and Clark, who are the guys who kind of run the operation there. We have a weekly podcast where we kind of talk about everything in a week of pro wrestling. So every Monday it drops.
I mean, y'all kind of cover everything, right? AEW, WWE, all that, all.
I watch an insanely a lot of professional wrestling on a weekly basis, man. The
How
main
how
one.
much of that is like you want to watch it versus like you feel like you're obligated to watch it because like you're kind of
I gotta
you're
cover
kind
it.
of responsible for delivering some of the news on it too, right?
I say it's a two-way street. Honestly, I'll be honest with you. I think I was watching that much professional wrestling in general,
Right.
as a just off of that's what I like to watch on a weekly basis. I mean, after I want to say like obviously we all grew up watching wrestling. We all kind of came up around the like Attitude Era,
Right.
to the Ruthless Aggression era. But for me, I kind of stopped watching WWE for a little while, and I kind of watched a little bit of like Ring of Honor, New Japan, and all that stuff during the late 2010s. But after the pandemic, honestly, like once the world kind of shut down, and I went to the first Dynamite, I kind of got back into it, and there wasn't much to do, right? You can't go anywhere, so I went down the rabbit hole, and it made me want to watch everything. And now it is one of those things where I watch a lot just to kind of be informed and kind of hear what's going on. But also, it's a lot of fun of it, man. I genuinely enjoy watching pro wrestling, especially stuff outside of like the big promotions, like just the independent circuit itself, man. Like I love, I got a Triller account. I watch all the indie shows, the GCW, House of Glory, whatever it may be, some local DMV platforms, and it reminds me so much. It's like literally the same as battle rap,
Right.
like.
I grew up in the Attitude Era, and I used to watch like the Monday Night Wars and shit. I don't know, like I haven't watched wrestling in some time. I can tell you when I really kind of stopped watching, and it's gonna make me sound so like a loser, I think, but I stopped watching around the time that they got rid of Enzo Amore, because I was like a big fan of Enzo, man. He was
Yeah,
like I was a mark for Enzo, and like I just like I like talkers, right? I like people
yeah.
who can get on the microphone and say some shit that I think is witty, and he was really good at like all those like punchlines and like coming up with slogans and everything. And then after he left, I didn't really feel like a strong connection to anybody that was around at the time. I have a little bit of FOMO because like I always hear about like what is it, the bloodline storyline, like I mean it just like I hear from other people and it just sounds like it's like an amazing like kind of thing that happened, and like just
Sure.
like how long it kind of played out. I watched like little bits and parts of it, like I would tune back in and see like Roman Reigns with the Ulafala or whatever that shit is.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, by that point, like I just like had already missed like so much of like what the buildup was and how like all like the whole family and all that, and like I don't know, it's like, um, I still have a love for wrestling, and there's part of me that's like, like I still care about it because it's something that I cared about a lot when I grew up. But
Right.
like I just, I just kind of, these days I'm just like so focused on other shit.
For
Um,
sure.
they
No,
got
I
a
got you. I mean, for me, man, I think it kind of fell on my in my lap to be real with you. Like I've just like I was heavy on Twitter and Facebook groups and stuff like that. And I had a buddy who actually did who he doesn't do for Wrestling Public anymore, but he was a writer for it, and he put like a little like post saying they were looking for writers. So I was like wrestling writer. I was like, that's cool. Like English was one of my favorite subjects in school. So I wrote a piece and sent it to the people and they wanted to interview. We had a little Skype interview and I met Clark and Ben. And Clark, that's one of my best friends right now, by the way, man. Like, but he interviewed me. He's like, bro, he's like, you have a personality. I would rather you be a podcaster if you would be down for it. And I was
right.
like, man, I didn't know that was even an option. Like I just kind of I stumbled across y'all for that, but I would be cool with it. And then it just became something I love to do, man. I feel like the team that we have, it's such a large group of people throughout the entire world. Wrestling Republic is based out in the UK. Ben Allison, a 22-year-old autistic young man, created this entire thing.
Mm,
70,000 followers on Instagram.
yeah,
Um, one of the best graphic designers, one of the best editors, all of that, and
right.
only so damn young, man. And this just did it because he loves pro wrestling. And I just see that passion project, and I see how like him, Clark, all the people on our team just love pro wrestling like I do. It just makes it fun for me. Like we talk in our group chat every single day about everything. We're like lit, and we do watch parties together. Like we're gonna watch. We'll wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning on Saturday to watch Wrestle Kingdom.
Right.
And it's fun, man. Like it becomes like a family. I've literally gained a family and close friends of people that I hope to meet in person one day, but people that live across the pond from me here, people that are a lot younger than me too, and but we all share a strong bond for pro wrestling. We all kind of have, that I share that same passion project with them now. Man, I've taken more roles within the team, and it's been like amazing, man. Like, and you know me, man. Like, even the same stuff was with battle rap too, man. Like, I love side quests. Side quests are the funnest thing for me to do, and if I find the passion for it, I put 110% into it. When
Right.
I loved battle rap, I put 110, 120% into it around 2015, 2016, 2017. And you get it sucks you in, bro. Pause, like, and it
Yeah.
makes you just instantly want to be the best or do the best you can with it. So, but I say with this, it's a lot more as I'm getting older. It's a lot more positive, I would say. I feel like after I had my little one, like I'm just like I don't know, like the world of battle rap, I still enjoy it. I still love it. I always get FOMO for that, to be honest with you. You just mentioned that, but I don't know. I don't have that same itch or passion for it as I
Right.
used to.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I always find it weird, like where there's such a large number of people in battle rap who also like wrestling, and I know that's not like that abnormal, but it's like there really is like a very
Yeah.
close knit like kind of thing. I was talking to Gas Buff, and he mentioned that he was working in like an independent wrestling promotion that I think Shadi Hora had kind of started
Yes.
out in the UK, and then
Yeah.
like Lex Luthor, he also has done some kind of stuff with
Yeah.
like some
I remember I saw Lex. They was doing battles like during intermissions at GCW shows and stuff like that.
right. So I mean, like, yeah, and yeah, that's the other part too. Is like even in wrestling, they also have like rap battles, and part of that, I mean, I think John Cena was for sure the first person that really kind of like
Yeah.
made that
Cena was,
possible.
man. He was. I went to his last match a couple weeks ago, and I remember we're talking to
Oh, you were in the building for that?
yeah, I was in the building for that.
Okay.
And I remember I was talking to a kid in the line, and he was just a big Cena fan. And I just remember I was like, man, I remember I told him I was like, man, my favorite Cena was like Doctor of Thugonomics when he came out as a heel. Well, when he kind of got repackaged, he initially came out kind of as like just a guy, right?
Right.
His whole thing, right? And then he became the Doctor of Thugonomics. He would rap battle people. I remember he used to like rap battle with fans outside of the Madison Square Garden
Right.
before shows and stuff like that. Cena got bars, man.
I mean, I don't know. I'm not even gonna lie, man. I'm a little bit of a hater for like I was a hater for Cena, but this is the thing. It's like I love the person, right? Like like it's just the character, like the wrestler. It's just like never like I never like it never got over for me. I don't
Yeah.
know. And like you know his personality is always just yeah. I mean like kind of I don't know, it's just like something about it that it just never fit right. I mean, he had that whole like kind of Massachusetts kind of like wigger type of like personality when it first came out.
It was Marky Mark.
Yeah. And so like I don't know, it's just like and then he like went into like the little soldier like kind of thing. I don't know, it's just like it just never resonated with me. But I have a tremendous amount of respect for Cena as a person. I can tell that he has worked his ass off because everybody says like nobody is really working like Cena. And also like this is a dude that like he has like done more Make-A-Wish, foundation things for
Yeah.
than anybody in history. And like that's like by like hundreds of like, visits and stuff, I think.
Mhm.
So I mean, like I can't even hate somebody like that, but like it's really just not like a personal thing. It's just like it's like if I listen to somebody's music and I just don't like the music, you know what I mean?
Right.
But like I still have a ton of respect for him as a person. But yeah, I mean I don't know, like I there's a independent like wrestling promotion that I found out with because I moved about a year ago, a little less than that. But there's an independent promotion called MCW Wrestling. I think it was like
Yeah, I
Maryland.
know MCW. My buddy actually is a wrestler slash manager over there.
Okay, cool. That's fire. Maybe I need to link up with you. But like I actually no lie. So I got laid off from my job like in November. So I was just like YOLO. I like sent an email just like hey if you need anybody for like web application design if you need anybody for like any like I can do video editing all this other stuff. Because like yeah it would be absolutely fire to work for an independent wrestling promotion. I like even when I was talking to Gas Buff, like he would be talking about how like and like he would be talking about how he would do like some commentating and stuff, and he
Yeah.
was talking about like how there was like a script and like he was supposed to get like he wasn't a wrestler, but he was like a commentator, and like he was supposed to be doing like an interview I think with one of the wrestlers, and he was talking about like how the script was like Gas Buff gets Tajiri missed it in the face, and like I'm like. Hey, fuck it, man. Like like
It's
I
fire.
watched, some of the stuff growing up, and it's just like even Michael Cole, it's like he kind of had a role to play as like kind of the guy that people picked on, but like he was an integral part of the show, right? Like even the people
Yeah.
that like even the people that are like the jobbers are very important to like the whole how everything progresses, right? But
It's still I mean, that's one thing I always talk about with I guess ever since I kind of got into the podcasting and reviewing tip is just the fact that I think that like for example, there's a wrestler who's currently the United States Women's Champion right now. Her name is Chelsea Green, right? I don't know if you
I've heard of her, but I'm not
okay.
too familiar.
So Chelsea Green is someone who was in the during that whole Tough Enough era. She started off there. She got released during 2020, before the pandemic.
Were they still doing Tough Enough in 2020? I feel like
Well,
that.
it was around 2015. She stayed for a
Okay.
little while, right? She was in the development process part that they have as well. But in around 2020, they did a huge mass release layoff thing right before the pandemic, or right
Right.
during the pandemic, honestly. And she was one of the people that got let go. After that, she went and just ran the independent circuit. She wrestled for TNA, all these smaller promotions, and she built her way back up. And she came back to the WWE once Vince McMahon got let go, or let himself go from being a piece of shit person that he is, right?
Right.
And she contacted Triple H, and she got back into it. And her whole thing is that she's funny, and she is a good heel, but she's gonna eat a ton of losses. But she got so good at that people just loved her character work so much, where now they don't want to root for her to lose. They want to root for her to win. And now she's become champion, right? She became the inaugural Women's United States champion. She won the title back again. And it's just one of those things, like people use the word jobber, but you're still doing a job at the end of the day. I feel like people, like, it takes two to tango in pro wrestling, and some of the best wrestlers are the people that sell and can make other people look good. You know,
Right.
someone like a Brock Lesnar, somebody like a Bobby Lashley, a Kane, like they got to give credit to a person like a Spike Dudley, right?
Right.
Or like a Maven back in the day that, took crazy bumps, sold their ass off to make them look like those powerhouses that they are.
Right.
And I think that's the one thing I learned about. Like, you watch wrestling in a whole different landscape in that standpoint, because like now we do like match reviews and there's like rating systems and stuff like that, and you kind of pay attention to stuff a little bit more than I used to, where it was more of enjoyment, but it's
Yeah.
still fun to kind of see it that way.
Right.
And yeah, man, like I mean, the roles are always fun to do, man. Michael Cole, man, like he was the dude who would get punked around backstage. Now he's the most, like, almost longest tenured commentator in the WWE. He's the OG on
Yeah.
the commentary team. Like, Jim Ross is no longer there.
I miss him, man.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, praying for him. I know he's going through him and Jerry King, honestly, are both going through a lot of health stuff. So obviously it's part of life and whatnot, but they're no longer there. Taz is on AEW too. So Cole's really the last guy from like our era that we
Right.
recognize that is still there. Now it's a bunch of new people that you probably wouldn't even like.
I can't even remember who it is. It's not Corey Graves. There's a white dude that's now like a commentator for
Joe
Raw, I think.
Tessitore.
Maybe. I don't know.
He used to be Joe Tessitore used to be a
I'm not gonna
sports
lie, his like
commentator.
personality just doesn't do it right. Like I don't know, it's like he seems a little like milk toast and like I don't know, weird to
He
me.
is.
But
He is a little. He used to be like a sports commentator, and then he was a boxing commentator. So he
yeah,
doesn't fit. He doesn't have that excitement. I think Corey Graves is good, and so is Wade Barrett is also pretty good too.
right.
But they're like, I mean, they used to be wrestlers though, so they kind of understand.
Whatever happened to JBL? Is he still?
JBL he does like some independent stuff now.
But he was a commentator for a while, wasn't he?
He
I
was a
feel like I remember
commentator
he
for a
was
little
really
while.
funny.
Yeah, he
Him and
doesn't.
Cole used to just like be on some bullshit.
Yeah, these the are yeah, because JBL was the classic heel commentator. I
Mm,
mean, McAfee was on it for a little bit too.
yeah.
It used to be Pat McAfee and Michael Cole like sometime last year, but I think he went back to like ESPN. So
Right. You had mentioned Vince McMahon, so that made me think for a moment because I had this is kind of like maybe like a segue, but like
Mhm.
maybe you don't have like any real insight on this, but it's a thought that I've had and it's been like in my head, and like I would love to talk to somebody who like knows wrestling and at least a little bit about politics to understand like where all this kind of comes together. So there's this weird kind of love relationship between wrestling and the Trump administration, and
yes,
there's also UFC is involved. So Vince McMahon, who originally created WWE, I don't know. I guess he sold it, or if he's a part-time like shareholder or whatever. But
no,
he,
he has nothing. So 2023, Vince McMahon, there's an ongoing lawsuit happening in regards to Vince McMahon, in regards to a lady who used to work in the WWE. There's a sexual harassment lawsuit. There's sex trafficking. All of this stuff. It's an extensive lawsuit. It's out there. If Wall Street Journal put it out.
can
After
I can
that
I put you on the
happened,
spot right quick?
but
Do you think he did it? I don't know. Like I
sure,
mean.
for sure he did. I look, man.
He doesn't
Look,
seem like I wouldn't trust him. Nah, that's how I'm gonna say it. Like
okay. I don't know if he did it, but I would not be surprised if any of this is
yeah,
true.
yeah.
If you hear stories from, gosh, so a lot of people watch the Netflix. I don't know if you've seen the Netflix
I
documentary,
did. I barely remember it, but I did watch it
but
because like
so
I'm
that's
a
the thing.
sucker for that type of shit,
They didn't
especially
touch base on a lot because that was the last episode. They didn't touch base on a lot of it. I don't know if it's on because it's ongoing or whatnot, but they kind
Right,
of focused on the mind of Vince McMahon, the good, bad, and the ugly that he's
right.
had collectively for pro wrestling. But but to make a long story short, after all of that has occurred, he retired, and then he sold the WWE and all of his stocks. All he's not a shareholder anymore. He's not on the board anymore. If anything, he may have stocks, and I'm not entirely sure. I don't
Right.
know his portfolio, but he sold it to TKO, which is a
The
big
UFC company, right?
yeah, it's the one that owns UFC. So they kind of have the umbrella of all these, UFC, and they honestly they bought it more so because if anybody knows the UFC, they're a lot in the red. People think that
Oh,
there's
really?
some big cash. Yeah, TKO lost a lot of money within during the pandemic and all that in the UFC,
Okay.
and they're
I
using
don't really
the
watch a lot of UFC, but I always thought they were making like crazy money because like, it seems like such a big sport. Like it feels like it's like the one of the biggest sports, out right now.
Yeah, I mean they do. They also had to go through a lot of legality stuff with lawsuits due to, you know, on with a lot of stuff with health and stuff like that with fighters and
Yeah.
whatnot. But WWE became I think they kind of got them because WWE has been a net positive in regards to like making money within the last some odd years, right? Like they don't put a whole lot into it and they make a whole lot out of it, just because wrestling is wrestling. So I think that's kind of what it is, and I mean, they are definitely a big corporate thing. But my bad. I know you were mentioning about the Trump administration, the WWE, because it is you could tie it to Vince, but honestly, Vince isn't there right now, and
Yeah.
they're you know.
Yeah, I mean, that's true, but also at the same time, like obviously, Linda McMahon is the Secretary of Education, which is, Vince McMahon's wife, for anybody who doesn't know that. And then, yeah, I mean, like, I don't know. It's like, I have a hard time thinking that there's not some, like, yeah, Vince is probably out of the picture because it's a controversial thing to be in the picture, especially when you have, like, a lawsuit. I mean, so many people do that. I mean, even like, it's just like a very, like, typical thing that people do when they get in trouble. Like, I remember, like, the guy from Papa John's, he got caught saying the N-word on, like, a call. And, like, then he was
Yeah,
like, oh, I'm stepping down. But I'm like, he's secretly working in the background as, like, a
right.
lower position. He's just not, like, the main face of the company anymore. And it feels like they do that a little bit.
So I don't think that's gonna be. I don't think Vince McMahon is part of anything in the WWE at the moment. A lot of a lot of reporting from credible sources in the wrestling space have mentioned it. He's kind of out of it, and he's not happy about it. I think he doesn't like the fact that he doesn't have his baby anymore, but he kind of got pushed out of it at the end of the day. Um,
But
but
he's still like, I mean, like, regardless, like, I mean, is Triple H, still like kind of like running the thing? Like, that's
So
his
yeah,
son-in-law
so
and his,
yeah, Paul
daughter.
Paul Levesque is the chief content officer. He's the head booker of the WWE. He's virtually Vince McMahon now, right? He's the guy that is setting the show, setting the storylines. He got his team, but he's covering all that bases. Nick Khan, I don't know if you know him. He's like a real
I've heard of him, but no, I
yeah.
mean,
He
there's,
he he
I know
does
there's
a
a
lot of
Tony
the
Khan
fun.
too, right? Are they brothers? I'm guessing.
No, he's not Tony Khan's brother. They
Oh, okay. I
actually
don't
have
know.
they got a big they them two hate each other. Funny enough,
Oh, really?
I
Like
love
there
Tony
are a
Khan.
lot of gaps in my knowledge, just for the record. I'm especially when it comes to like independent wrestling and stuff. I'm very like ignorant. And it's been a while since I've like even tuned
Yeah.
into like
No,
WWE.
you're good. Nick Khan isn't even he's like a more of like he used to do a lot of deals with like NBC and stuff like that in the past, but he's kind of like their go-to guy on making all these moves. Like he's a big reason why they do a lot of the deals with they got the Netflix deal, right? They just got Raw on Netflix.
Right,
They got on ESPN. Like he does a lot of these moving stuff. He's also big with the relationship that they have with Saudi Arabia,
right.
right?
And that was another thing I wanted to bring up too. But I think that also feels like it kind of fits into the mix of everything else. Like obviously WWE has that relationship, and then there's also there's
UFC.
definitely a relationship with the Trump administration in Saudi Arabia. But like
Yeah,
at the end of the day, it's not necessarily like a whatever, like a shadowy undercover thing. It's like these are the people that all have the most money, so obviously they all fraternize with
for
each other.
sure. I mean, look. I remember you remember watching it. He's a WWE Hall of Famer. by
Well, yeah, I
virtue.
mean, yeah, that was the other part. He literally
Yeah,
wrestled in the WWE against
yeah.
Vince
The
McMahon.
battle, yeah, the battle of the billionaires, right? And he was on the Undertaker's podcast um prior to the
I did
election
watch
coming in.
that, and you know what's funny? That was like actually like I'm not a big fan of Trump, but that was like one of the times where I was like, I could kind of empathize with him a little bit because he looked like such a fucking fan. He was there. He went on to Undertaker's podcast, and he was just asking the Undertakers like,
Yeah,
he was just like
it's
a
like
straight up
I
mark,
won't lie,
bro. He
it
was a
felt like
mark.
it felt like two old friends catching up after a while, right?
And I was like, all right, I would have probably been asking like some of the same questions, man.
Yeah, because he's like, man, what happened to that guy, huh? I remember when you did that. Yeah, like it's hilarious, but yeah, I mean there's definitely, I mean, obviously, like you mentioned, Linda McMahon is has a role in Trump's office. Triple H is part of the like health administration team with RFK Jr., right?
hmm
So, and the thing is this, right? It's difficult, and obviously, however you look at politics, that's fine. I'm not here to sway anybody or tell anybody they're wrong, but you have to understand when you put. It's like remember the whole thing with like don't mix politics with sports when they were giving LeBron all of that shit like for during
I mean
after
that
Trayvon
and
Martin passed away, right?
right, and
So
Kaepernick.
yeah, and then the whole Kaepernick thing, and obviously everything that has happened from 2020 to and beyond, right? And you look at somebody like Triple H, and you talk about pro wrestling, and you are gonna run the course of making some people feel uncomfortable in that locker room and in that company when there are a lot of people like Sami Zayn, right? Sami Zayn is an incredible person.
Right.
He is a guy who was not allowed to come to Saudi Arabia for a lot of years when they
Can
did
you
shows over
tell me
there
why he wasn't allowed to? I do know that like I mean he
he had a big he does a lot of operations for helping people in Syria, right?
right.
Opening health
And he
clinics and stuff like that.
is he Syrian? I know he's like
Yeah, he's Canadian, but he's Syrian descent.
right. And like, you know, for people that don't know, like he does look pretty white. He looks kind of Irish to me. If I looked at him,
You
I
would
would
think he's white. I mean, he could speak. I mean, he maybe European. He could speak French, like all of that, because he's from Quebec. But yeah, he is an admirable person. He's someone that speaks very loudly in regards to all the stuff that is happening out in the West in Gaza going on
right.
right now. Right, a lot of his ring gear is, if you pull it up, Palestinian flag,
Right.
all of that, right?
Yeah, I mean, I know like the logo he has on the back of his trunks. I don't know what it says exactly, but I know it's
Yeah,
not
but he's got like the color flag on the side of it too,
right.
and he's you having that. So I don't. It's real difficult because they do like I don't know how to describe it because they do let him do stuff like that, right? They allow him to do that, but they don't. I haven't seen them try to hinder him or anything like that. But then
Right.
you are working with with it, and you're visibly shown with an administration and whatnot, and it may rub people the wrong way, however you may do it. So it's a difficult one to assess. I mean, I won't say like I will say this for Triple H's in his defense. I feel like him as a booker has been like the WWE is far less offensive than what they've done back in the day, right? You don't have
Oh man,
stereo.
the '90s was a
Yeah,
shit show,
90s,
man. I'm not
2000s.
gonna lie, I loved a lot of that content. Like, you know, it's like I
Yeah.
grew up with it, and but you know, you look at it like now with the lens of like, you know, having gone through like the PC era. It's just like, you know, there was I mean, the first thing that comes to mind is a lot of objectification of women. Is you know, they like almost exclusively like every match was like, okay, we're just gonna have bra and panties, and
hmm
even back when what was it,
Mud wrestling, all of that.
Jerry Lawler was like every time a woman wrestler would come out, he'd be
Yeah,
talking about puppies, and you know what I mean, like
for sure.
puppies being a euphemism for boobs, by the way, for anybody who doesn't know.
Yeah.
But
But so to that point, right now we're in an era where like women's wrestling, and I'll be frank with you, I may enjoy women's wrestling more than men's wrestling in regards to superstars. Like
Right.
They are as much of a draw as men's wrestlers, right? A person like a Rhea Ripley,
Right.
someone like Becky Lynch, like they are larger than life figures. Like Becky Lynch was damn near the top person in the damn industry in the WWE around 2018, 2019. Rhea Ripley is probably the biggest star that they have, not named Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes, whatever it may be, but she's a larger than life figure. And okay, yes, they are beautiful women at the end of the day, but the focus isn't hypersexualizing them. It's them just being incredible characters, wrestlers, talkers, all of that. And that goes the whole nother yard where I feel like we've seen a lot of progression. Now, I will say, I think things can always get better. Like, this is a conversation that we have all the time on our podcast. Like if you look at the, percentage wise, right? There's 100. Let's go 100%, right? If you talk about television time or match time for women's matches compared to men's matches, it's probably a 70-30 split.
Mm.
65-45 if I'm being generous, but maybe 70-30 split. Maybe they get a match or two where men get 4 or 5 matches on the card, right? And
Right.
that's something I would like to see progress because I feel like you do have people, and they just did another all women show last year, and that was rated the best show in all WWE shows over WrestleMania, over Royal Rumble, over SummerSlam, and that was
Mm.
on a weekend where they tried to only book that show because they wanted to counter program to fuck up AEW, which I'm very my thoughts on WWE are a little different than other people. People call me a WWE hater
Right.
on the podcasting realm. Um, I think they move and operate like complete scumbags,
Right.
and they want to monopolize the industry in a lot of ways too.
I
I
mean,
can't.
yeah, I mean, first of all, like that was like kind of Vince McMahon's whole
Yeah,
mentality, but also, I mean, like I'm sure like AEW wouldn't mind being able to monopolize the industry or some of the other brands if they could. I'm
I
not.
don't. I don't. I don't.
Let me preface it by saying I don't watch a lot of AEW. I'm not
Yeah,
familiar, so I'm speaking out my ass right now. But yeah,
for sure. No. So here's the thing, right? Big Bank takes Little Bank at the end of the day. WWE currently has a partnership with TNA, right?
right,
And they're helping TNA a lot. And a big reason is people think they're trying to boost up TNA to kind of become that number two. So AEW kind of falls off a little bit, right? But that can be one way to spin it. The other way I spin it, to me, I feel like they look at TNA as a feeder brand. So what they just did, they signed two of the biggest stars in TNA to come to WWE. That's Joe Hendry. I'm sure you heard of that guy, the dude who does the clapping stuff. Like
I'm not gonna lie. I don't think I have.
okay, there's a guy named Joe Hendry, and then there's a girl named Jordan Grace.
Okay,
So, and they're probably gonna pick up another guy named Leon Slater who just went there. So to me, I look at them. They're looking at feeder brands. With AEW, I look at AEW as a renaissance where Tony Khan is a fucking wrestling mark, and I mean that in the most respectful way ever. He's such a fan,
right.
and he loves to work with these promotions. So he works with New Japan. He works with CMLL. He works with the independent circuits, and it's just about pro wrestling. And to me, I AEW got me way back into pro wrestling. I went to that first Dynamite in DC, and I was hooked. And I love just the matches that they have and all of that. And sure, it could be
Who are the top people right now in AEW?
the top people in AEW. So the world champion right now is a dude named MJF.
Hmm.
You would like him a lot. He is a damn good talker and a
Right.
damn good wrestler. There's a dude named Swerve Strickland, Hangman Adam Page on the
I'm not
women's
even gonna
side.
lie. I don't know half of these people. I think I've heard of Adam Page,
The,
man.
okay, there's a woman named Tony Storm. Her name is Timeless Tony Storm. Her
Right.
whole character is like she's like a Marilyn Monroe like esque like woman who's like from the fucking 19 like 20s 30s like a deranged actress. She's got like a British accent and she's so funny. She uses all these silly sexual innuendos for her like promo styles and stuff like that.
Right.
And it's out of this world. Like it's so over the top, but it's so fun. And I mean, to me, AW it's stylistically is what you like. So me, I like wrestling matches, right? I like seeing good matches, and
Right.
they go ahead and display like their whole their whole shit is we're the best wrestle, and I
Mhm.
like seeing that. I was a WCW kid, honestly, growing up. Like I remember used to love watching WCW, watching all the fucking luchadors and stuff, early Chris Jericho's, Dean Malenko, all of that. And to me, AEW feels like WCW in a sense, except and they're on Turner Television just like WCW was, but they got a guy who's like this is a passion project for him, right? This is a vanity project. He's not. This isn't his main thing. He's part owner of the Jacksonville Jaguars, so it can operate and run as long as he wants it to be. And also talk about it like this, right? You talk about politics. He's opening an avenue like for people to become just as rich as they would be in the WWE. The WWE can't pay everybody. Not everybody can make the WWE. So it's good to have another competitor brand that can get you the same, financial luxury, being able to provide for your family and still do what you want to do on that standpoint. So, to me,
Do you feel like AEW has the chance of running the risk of what WCW did, which is like, I mean, the whole thing with Ted Turner, I guess, was that he was throwing money at a lot of the big stars in WWE or WWF at the time, and like they kind of ended up like losing their shirt because like they just I don't know, they weren't drawing as much money, but they also like were trying to pay all these big contracts and stuff, and they didn't really have it.
so it could run into that issue if we're talking about a couple years ago, because I think he was doing a lot of that formula. Anytime a WWE talent was released, uh, Tony would sign him, right? But now I feel like he's kind of got an understanding of what his like. You're not gonna there when I say I won't even say competitive because WWE is the NBA, the NFL, whatever you want to call it. As
Right.
long as you're comfortable with how you run your operation, I think you should be fine. And it goes upon how he wants to do it. I think they got the potential of lasting for a long time. I mean, they've already run more episodes than Nitro has,
Right.
right?
I mean,
They've
they've
been
been around for a while. I know that for sure.
Yeah, it's been 7 years now.
And I've only heard good things. I've never heard it like I mean I don't watch a lot, but I like I talk to people every once in a while. They'll be like a wrestling fan and be like, "Oh yeah, I like AEW." And it's like, "Okay, well clearly this shit is like
Bro,
it's got a big following."
as a wrestling media person, I've gone to they've comped me tickets to go to shows for free. Like
Right.
their media people do that. WWE, I would be difficult to do that unless you're one of the big people for that. But they do like the fact that they did that for me, I feel like that's pretty awesome within itself. But just watching interviews and seeing people talk about how they work with Tony and how it is over there, like I see a lot of positive towards it. A lot of people who don't like AEW, it's like a tribalism thing, right? Like there's people that are heavy into the WWE or heavy in the AEW and they want to kind of shit on the other person for liking for what it is. Me, I love it all at the end of the day. Like
Right.
I go a little hard for AEW just because I feel like they're the underdogs in it and I want to see them kind of have a fruitful life in this profession because if they go out of business, that's going to suck for pro wrestling, man. It would be a really bad thing.
Right. I think the only person that I know right off the top of my head, like from when I think of AEW, is I saw like Orange Cassidy, like when he
Mhm.
first came out, and like I used to watch those
I had a bar
videos.
battle against you.
Yeah, yeah, I do remember that. And I was like, I saw the yeah, I don't know if he still wrestles like that. I just saw clips online, and it would just be like him with his hands in his pockets, and he's not even like he's not doing
He
it.
doesn't
It's just
he don't do
like
it as
he will
much
do an
anymore.
entire match fighting you, and his hands will never like leave his pockets, and it's crazy. He'll just
Yeah,
keep
no,
jumping around with it.
he doesn't do it as much anymore. But yeah, no, I remember he went viral for all of that too. I mean, there's still a lot of old WWE people who are there. Like Daniel Bryan he retired, but he's like one of the head people for over there. He does commentary too. Christian, Edge, Bobby Lashley. They still got some people over there too.
Um, yeah. So you were talking about we were talking about Saudi Arabia earlier. So I I wasn't paying attention, but I did see somewhere online a clip or something like that about people talking about like, there were I guess they were like booing the crowd or something. The crowd was booing like based on some kind of relationship or whatever was going on with Saudi Arabia.
Hmm.
It's a weird we can forget the whole Trump administration thing. Let's talk about like WWE and their relationship to Saudi Arabia because I find that kind of interesting. for a couple reasons. Number one, um, I find it I find it odd that they basically kind of created a new WrestleMania, right? That was kind of like, originally when I was growing up, and I think you were there too, it's just like the two biggest, pay-per-views would be WrestleMania, SummerSlam, right? Those were the two, and then eventually they came out with the Crown Jewel, and then it's like they kind of tried to make that like the new WrestleMania almost. It felt like, and
That
that to me is kind of insane. Like, it's just like to try. Maybe I'm overselling it, but that's like kind of how I was looking at it.
so okay, so Crown Jewel in the initial, build of it, it became like that because they try to put the biggest stars, but it became like a house show, right?
Right,
Like it's just matches for matches. That's kind of how it is. The issue we are seeing now with their partnership is the fact that now WrestleMania is actually going to be in Saudi Arabia in 2027.
right.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's not.
Yeah, I mean that's how deep the relationship
Yeah,
is kind of
and
what I'm.
that's massive. I mean, this month the Royal Rumble is going to be in Saudi Arabia, right?
Right,
And you talk about that's another big show. That's one of the big five, as they call it, right? Of the shows that they have. And that's gonna be there. It used to be, Crown Jewels or smaller pay-per-view like cards that they have. And that's kind of where people a lot of that booing came is when they made the announcement. It was like, yo, what the heck? Like you're pigeonholing a lot of your fans in the States to be able, I mean, forget the States, internationally, like it's not easy or feasible to fly out there, right?
right.
And there's a lot more restrictions in regards to guidelines and how you get there and all that. And it is for payday for it at the end of the day. Like it's hard for me to kind of criticize in the standpoint because like obviously I am Muslim and I'm happy for people in Saudi Arabia, but also I can be critical on, the government and stuff that they've had and honestly just kind of being bought out. Like they did it more so because they knew they were gonna throw them a astronomical amount of money and they were gonna get a big payday for it, but you make it difficult for a lot of everybody else and it kind of makes you as a fan like give them like a really like kind of look to it because Mania is Mania. It's like the Super Bowl to fans, right? Like people dream to want to go there. People, save a lot of money to do that. And I mean, forget a ticket. A flight is going to cost a lot out the gate. Then you talk about the ticket. Then you talk about hotel. Like all of that adds up, and that's another big thing about WWE that people have kind of run into issues with is just the ticket pricing. They've made it, a real difficult for families to go to shows, right? Like I don't know, like if you was a kid, like you get if you ask your parents, they take you to a house show or Monday Night Raw or whatever it may be, and it would be more affordable. To now, it's like Cena's last match, bro. Like it's a lot of money to get in there. I ain't gonna
Well,
lie
I
to
mean,
you.
yeah, but that also has to do with like Ticketmaster and all those like
All
they
of that
they
too,
literally
true.
like buy out all the tickets for shit and then they will like mark it up. It's like back in the day they didn't have Ticketmaster, they just had scalpers. Those were like individual
Yeah,
people that would do the exact same thing, and that would be
exactly.
I think it would be illegal, wouldn't it? Like I'm not
It
sure. I
would
think
be.
scalping was like illegal for like an individual, but that's the way it works. It's like if a big company does it, nobody cares because they could just like buy their way into buy a politician and be like, oh, this is fine to do. But like if it's an individual doing the same thing, they're like, oh no,
Yeah.
that's not allowed.
And
Um,
you talk about Royal Rumble being there too. Like there's a women's Royal Rumble, so you have 30 women, but they have to all wear bodysuits, so they
right.
can't.
I haven't watched it. Like I mean, like do they like how much do they have to cover up in order to wrestle? I mean,
They they just can't cover. They don't have to cover their face or hair, but they got to cover their arms and their legs.
right.
So like you
So,
can't wear shorts or like kind of like like a bra set or whatever it may be. Like you have to like. And I'll say this: like a lot of these women's wrestlers are very creative with their ring gear, right? Like I think Liv Morgan wrestled I think they had an elimination chamber there a couple years ago, and she had like an all red, like the Britney Spears, like the "Oops, I Did It Again" video, right?
yeah, yeah.
So
The
she
the
figured
the
a
leather.
way to
I'm like I pulled it up. I'm looking at it now. So
yeah,
yeah,
stuff like that is cool. And
I
then
mean, like that. The thing is like that. I wouldn't be surprised to see her come out in that outfit, and if she was at a regular WrestleMania, you know what I mean? Like, So
Yeah,
yeah, I mean, they got some incredibly good like fashion designers and stuff at
yeah.
WWE, but
Well, when they first went there, I remember they had like them wearing like a Raw T-shirt and a Raw SmackDown shirt because it was a one-on-one match. I think it was like forgot who the two wrestlers. I think it was like Piper Niven versus Zelina Vega, and they both had like they had like their ring tights, but they just had a big ass like one was on SmackDown, so she had the big ass blue shirt. Nova had the big ass red shirt. You know what I'm saying? And like going through that.
yeah, and I mean, I'm sure there was some like I remember there being some controversy, but I don't remember exactly what it was. I'm sure there were like a couple wrestlers that just weren't very happy with the decision, or maybe they had to stay back and back home and they wanted to compete or something like
I
that.
mean, CM Punk, I love him. He was super critical about it for the longest time, but now he did a show there, and now he apologized to him and stuff like that. Money
I
talks
don't
at
know.
the end of the
CM Punk
day,
always
bro.
felt like he's the type of person that will compromise on his morals, right? Like he I've never really felt like he just feels like completely consistent.
Yeah, I mean, you got to call him a hypocrite by it. Look, man, at the end of the
I'm not
day,
saying he's a bad person, but at the
I
same
don't think he's a
time,
bad person, but like, look, man, money
yeah,
is
money will change you.
money will change the shit out of it. When he looks at that paycheck that they're offering him for that one show, he's gonna be like, I'll do it.
Yeah, I mean, Dave Chappelle was talking about that too. It's just like he's like, I don't even work anymore. I just wait for them Arabs to call me because he went over to Saudi Arabia and did like a stand-up comedy thing, and he got some backlash for it. I know Bill Burr got some backlash for it, especially because like both of them are kind of Bill Burr more than probably Dave Chappelle would be considered like leftish leaning, I
Yeah,
think, and so like a lot of people felt like he was kind of betraying like betraying his principles by performing at Saudi Arabia. I don't. I mean, I'll tell you my opinions on it. I mean, I don't know if you want to give yours or we could do it however. But
yeah, no, go ahead. I want to hear what you say first.
well, yeah. So like, I don't know. Like well, first off, like it's really difficult to navigate because there are. I mean, it's impossible to say that there aren't problems, right? But at the same time, there are problems everywhere, and it's just like I think Dave Chappelle was mentioning it too. It's just like it's like, oh yeah, yeah, Saudi Arabia they killed a journalist, and then like, oh, Israel has killed like 250 some journalists in the last like 4 months or 3 months or whatever, and it's
Right.
like it's like it feels a little weird to be like, oh, we're gonna draw the line of like, this is unethical because like, it's Saudi Arabia, but like we are literally doing unethical shit at the same time, and it's just like I don't know,
That's I mean, that's exactly what Seth Rollins just said on an interview he had this past week. He was like, "Yeah, they did some bad stuff, but we do some like this country does some bad stuff itself, right?"
right.
And it's
And I feel like a lot of the people, the citizens, don't really have much control over
no,
that. Like,
exactly.
it's like even like, in Israel, it's just like the citizens of Israel don't really control what their government does any more than what I do. So,
Right.
it's like, when there's like there's been a lot of talk, especially on like the right now about like anti-Semitism and stuff, and it's just like there's a conflation of like Jewish people as of all Jewish people, including Jewish people who live in America somehow, and somehow tying it into you good, bro? I think you're
Yeah, my
yeah,
bad. Shoot, my joint just
but
dropped
yeah,
off. My
so
fault.
um, but yeah, like so there's like this whole conflation of like everything being under the same umbrella, and I get it too because I'll see people from other countries and be like, oh yeah, well, these are what the Americans are doing, and they're supporting like whatever Trump is doing, and it's just like I don't agree with anything that he's doing, so like I don't want people to look at me and be like I'm somehow responsible for anything that my government does, and likewise I wouldn't hold anybody in Israel responsible for what their government does. I think that's kind of silly, and the same thing with Saudi Arabia. But I mean, yeah, I do think it's not all bad. I think there's something good about bringing these sports over to Saudi Arabia because I
Hmm.
think it blurs the lines a little bit, and I think that is necessary in the long run. Because dude, like let me say it like this, like Mamdani just won the mayoral election,
Yeah,
just took office.
his inauguration yesterday.
Yeah, and so when he ran as president, or not president, sorry, when he ran as mayor, right? He was running as mayor, and like he was getting attacked, from conservatives, and like he was getting attacked at like I saw a thing. Now again, I don't want to like say that this is like what is going to be on all like conservative platforms, but I see like I've seen like a news story or something, and they'll literally have a picture of Mamdani next to somebody like Osama bin Laden, right? Only because like this dude, like they're both Muslim. That's the
Yeah.
only
Oh my
thing they have in
goodness.
common. And the idea that like we're still like this is, I mean, it was already fucking ignorant enough in 2001, like, back in 9/11 and shit. It was already
Yeah.
ignorant. And like, we can already look back at that and be like, yeah, we fucked that up. Like, like 9/11, like, the response to 9/11 was completely overblown.
Sure.
We killed way too many people. And that's also why I'm more, I'm more like outspoken against like the Israel thing because, like, they're kind of doing the exact same thing that we did, but we know already after having lived through it that like that was a failed mission. Like everything that we did in Iraq was like a failure. Like there was no reason for any of that to happen. And we just killed a lot of we killed Americans, we killed people over there, and it's just like
Mhm.
there's no reason why those people had to die other than like I don't know. Like I think they were trying to kind of I don't know if it was some people said it was a war on oil. Some people, maybe you're just trying to like set up more like a cultural type of thing and try to like expand the market because if you can get more people on board with, Western culture, you can sell them stuff. When you talk when Trump, kind of talks about like, oh yeah, we're gonna, turn Gaza into like a kind of like a
Hotel.
hotel, yeah, suite or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like, but that is it. Like they're trying to profit off of it. And they're trying to because that's what globalization is. That's why Netflix, has so many like, shows that are like in different languages because they're trying to appeal to a global audience. And
Yeah, I mean, they,
why
they literally have their own, every country has their own version of like Netflix, right?
right. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I just think it needs to be done ethically, right? It needs
Agreed.
to like you shouldn't kill people and then take over their shit and then just be like, okay, now we're gonna sell you stuff. No, like that
See,
doesn't
and that's the thing that confuses me because I like not saying what you're saying confuses me, but like that same rhetoric because you we growing up to me, I was always told or taught that this was supposed to be, the country about opportunity. My parents are from Bangladesh, right? My father and mother moved here in the early 80s. My dad, came here on a visa. A lot of times people have upset that we're getting it, but he initially did come here on a visa working and gradually
but
got his
that's
green.
also a legal way to come here, right?
Yeah,
So it's
right.
not
And then he got
like
his
so I don't know why anybody would even be upset
yeah,
about that. But
exactly, right. He got his green card. He's been a citizen for almost 20 years now, right? My mom has been a citizen for almost 25, almost 30 years now. And they did everything naturally, right? And we are Muslim Americans and I remember a lot of that going through you see a lot of that go on, as a first generation American citizen but growing up with a family of immigrants. But now you look at a lot of the rhetoric now where that land of opportunity, all of that stuff. People try to frame it like, "Oh, no, this isn't fair." Like people, like it's some sort of like crime or whatnot. And even somebody like the president, he hasn't even put a big forefront on a lot of the visa stuff because he's like, look, he's a guy who is a businessman at the end of the day. The
if you
cheap,
got
cheap
$1 million,
opportunity,
you're
cheap labor for people to potentially come here and get an opportunity to be here. Plus, you want to have the best people doing your job for your operation at the end of the day, right? And
right.
I do think and I say it as an American, I think a lot of Americans don't take advantage of the opportunities for it, and they try to frame that in a standpoint where it's like, oh, it's an immigrant issue. They're taking our jobs. That's a
I
bunch
mean,
of
I
horse
think that's a
shit.
dumb argument too, but you are.
Yeah, and then like the Mamdani thing is hilarious to me because, I'm like you, I'm very in tune to a lot of like political stuff. A lot of it is my algorithm, and one of my favorite people in the world, sarcastically, Pat Betrick David, PBD.
Not familiar.
Okay, he's a big right wing commentator, right? He's a businessman, but now he's like a right wing shill, in my opinion.
Mhm.
Uh, his whole thing is Iranian, also just like my parents, immigrant. from Iran came to America, right? His
Right.
whole thing is that, oh, we don't want New York to be like the UK because the UK's prime minister is a Pakistani Muslim man. She's like Sharia law is coming in. This is a democratic socialist. This is
Right.
a guy who's had, you
Well,
know,
the thing is, like, some of the things that they say about Mamdani are so fucking insane because, like, he's a fucking mayor. He doesn't have the power to do
exactly,
some
and
of
he
this.
can never run
He
for
can't fucking
president.
turn America. Yeah, exactly. He can't turn America into a socialist country, even if he wanted
Yeah,
to. And he's not a socialist. He's a democratic socialist. But I mean, I don't know. It's like people get all the terms like really kind of conflated because they don't really mean a whole lot anymore. None of it really means anything. Capitalism doesn't even mean anything because we don't live in a capitalistic country. We live in like America is a capitalist country, but it has a public sector and it has a private sector.
private sector.
China is a capital or is a communist country, but it has a public sector and a private sector. So it's like it's just a different blend of like, the same shit. And right now, I mean, I don't know. I almost look at it like, like we can understand, like, when they say capitalism, it's like, all right, no regulations on businesses. That is the way to create the most stuff. But like at some point, you got to be like, okay, we got enough stuff, but like we got to distribute it to people. If we don't
Exactly.
distribute it to people, what is the point of having the
Having
stuff?
it up, right. No, I agree 100%.
Like
And
we have billions and billions of pounds of food. Yay, capitalism, great at generating billions and billions of pounds of food. Okay, but who has it? One guy. Like what the fuck?
yeah,
Elon look, let me tell you, Elon's fucking net worth, because I was like kind of tracking this and like before Trump took presidency, which was like less than a year ago. Elon's net worth was like $400 or $500 billion. Now it's $750 billion. That's insane. That's
yeah,
absolutely fucking insane. Like it just blows my mind. If you cannot distribute the wealth, there's no point in fucking just generating wealth. If it only goes to one person, then what the
yeah.
fuck is
A
the
person
reason for it?
can damn near double his net worth where he's already one of the richest people in the world, but you have a lot of people in this country that are struggling. Like I've seen it, man. Like I've seen so many people, especially during the shutdown, like go through like I don't know what to do. Like people forget a lot of government agencies aren't even just being a government employee. There's a lot of government contractors, and government contractors, if the government is shut down and your government has a lapse or they're not able to operate, those people don't get paid and they're not going to get back pay. It's not like you're a government employee where you're going to get paid once the government opens back up. No, you just don't have, you're not able to work and you can't work for an entire month. And even for people who are, that were working, man, like bills pile up, man. You swiping that credit card as much as you do, that mortgage got to get paid, that rent got to get paid.
Right.
Like,
I mean, Congress was like they shut down the government for like what was it 40, 50
42
some
days.
days, and they all got paid, I'm sure. Like I mean,
Yeah.
and it's just like okay, well, like how is it? I don't know. It is what it is. It does like kind of drive me insane a little bit, but
Yeah. But I mean,
sorry, my bad. Yeah, go
no, no,
ahead.
no. I mean, but yeah, so it's just it's crazy. I mean, and then just the whole aspect of like the I know you touched on the base of like the war in Gaza and stuff like that, and correlating it to kind of what was going on in Afghanistan. Like, I think a lot of what you said makes a lot of sense. I mean, the one thing I will say is maybe it's tied to just the fact that we have more of an open eye with social media, and people can kind of see outlets of stuff that's going on. Like, I will say, I feel like there is a large amount of people that are a bit informed, and that's right and left, to be honest with you, because like I even see someone like a Tucker Carlson or a Candace Owens who I can't
I
say
don't
I'm
consider either of them to really be. I mean, Candace, I don't know. I don't follow them that well. Tucker, I don't think he's a good actor. I don't think I think he's a bad faith actor. He's deliberately trying to deceive people, I think. Um, and I mean, I feel two ways about it because I do think it's necessary to have people on the right that are talking about like what's going on in Gaza. But ironically, Tucker is one of those people. But Tucker is I don't think he's a good person at heart.
what I have a question for you though. How do you feel with politics right now? How do you feel that there is such, and maybe it's because Trump won in 2016, but like there's such a strong base of like these, I won't even call them like, they're not even news people. They're like just like Twitch streamers and content creators that
Hmm.
have such a big voice. And like I see like people on both sides like actively work with them. Like I feel like a lot of like, I might be wrong, but a lot of people say the big reason why Trump won this past election is because he had a big backing from like these podcast bros. Although we are on
Right.
the podcast right now, right? But
Well, ironically, like, I mean, I don't think I'm ever getting like part of the reason I did the podcast was for myself, but I also recognized that like podcasting was kind of like it was monopolized by the right, and I wanted to be able to. I mean, that's all I can do is try to like put my voice out there
for
and
sure.
be like a voice of reason for my own beliefs and stuff. And I mean, I try to not be too judgmental of everything. At the same time, like it's really hard to. I'm kind of tired of playing the guessing game, right? Like at the end of the day, there's Republicans, there's Democrats, there's conservatives, you got, different religions, all the other stuff. I don't really care about most of that stuff. All I really care about is are you a good faith actor or are you a bad faith
That's
actor?
a fact,
And
right?
if you're a good faith actor, then cool. I can disagree with a good faith actor. Like I am not I'm pro-choice, right? But I can understand somebody who is pro-life and thinking that abortion is murder. Like I can understand that can be a good faith belief, but it doesn't mean that everybody who some people just use that as a like, oh, I know that people believe this, so I'm going to use that to get all these people on my side in order to get turn them against the other people. And then that what happens is you have good faith actors on one side that get turned against good faith actors on the bad side or
That's
on the other side
yeah.
because the bad faith actors are basically manipulating them into doing it. That's kind of how I see all of politics. You were talking about like how Twitch, Twitch streamers and so forth, they get these big audiences. I mean, most of them obviously they didn't. I don't think they like started out, trying to be explicitly political. I don't know like where Nick Fuentes started or whatever. But like him and other podcasters like that. I think a lot of people kind of just, they started podcasting or especially Twitch, some of those people just like played video games. Like somebody like, I think
Yeah.
Asmon Gold is probably a good example because he does like get into politics somehow. I don't know him, again, I don't know him that well, but I know like he started out, he was just a World of Warcraft, Twitch gamer. That's all he did was like film
Yeah.
himself like playing video games. And then eventually what happened is he starts, putting out his, political beliefs and other people start like kind of clinging onto it. But then they all get in their own little like, there's a feedback of like a echo chamber where they're all like kind of sharing ideas. And then that doesn't really it doesn't have anybody like trying to be like, hey, well, what about that, perspective? It's always like, we kind of feed bounce off each other, but we don't really like critically think about whether those things are accurate. You know what I mean?
For sure. And I do think a lot of it last year, I think a lot of it is just I don't know, man. Maybe some checks cleared for some of those content creators' bank accounts where they were able to kind of do it. Maybe a lot of it is just the content is the content. Like they knew a lot of people are knowing it's an election year and it can kind of run base. I mean, shoot, man. Salute to Mamdani. A lot of his base is just off of the fact that he ran a strong campaign and he was kind of doing stuff in a more like a personable way, right? Like he connected to New Yorkers because he displayed himself like he
I mean,
is.
Mamdani just like he literally doesn't even say anything bad about anybody. He just says, "Hey, we need people to be able to eat. We need people to be able
Yeah,
to like let's get some buses, and like that's fucking brilliant. Like why? Like I'm so like that's the problem with like the Democrats, especially over the last 4 years, prior to Trump getting elected, was like all they ran on we're not Trump. That's all they ran on.
yeah,
They didn't have anything that like people actually cared about or and they also they deliberately lied. They were I mean they lied about the fact that like the economy is doing good, which is now the same thing that Trump is doing. The economy is doing good, but like
right.
yeah, the stock market is doing fine because like I said earlier, capitalism is really good at generating a lot of shit. It just doesn't get that shit to anybody who needs it.
Yeah. No, that's true. I mean, they definitely ran one of the worst campaigns going into the last election. It was a layup for Trump how they
I
set
mean,
up.
yeah, I don't know. I don't even want to talk too much about that, but I mean, I will say that like, See, it's like, yeah, they really fucked that up so many ways. Obviously, starting with Biden's fucking, he was checked out for way too long. People should have stepped in and been like, okay, well, the president is not functioning. We need the vice president or somebody. Isn't that what their role is? Isn't that why they're the vice president, to take over when the president is not able to perform their duties? And yet, for some reason, Biden kind of kept on going until eventually he did that debate with Trump. I watched that like for like 3 or 4 minutes, and I was like, all right, I'm done. We're fucked. I was like, we're gonna lose this election because that was absolutely abysmal. And then eventually they got Kamala, and I think there was a lot of this is the thing I heard, like some right wing podcasters talk about, like how like, oh, everybody all of a sudden is really like excited for Kamala. No, people are excited because they have a candidate like that isn't a corpse. Like like at least they had a chance. We kind of already knew at that point, like Biden was not gonna beat Trump.
Like, I agree with you. They pulled it it was way too late into the game, and she didn't get a strong timetable to actually run a campaign to percent.
And she also had a lot of talking points. She would say the same thing. Oh, I'm a middle class American, and I would, I listen to podcasts and stuff. So I'll listen to a podcast over here. I'll listen to like Charlemagne and Andrew Schultz. I'll listen to whoever, and she'll say the same thing on all of these different podcasts. I'm a middle class American. It's like it's a script, like and that's like nobody wants that. Nobody wants that out of their politician, especially now when they're it's like conservatives. It's a really frustrating thing because like there are parts of conservatism where I can understand like why they're upset. I can understand exactly like how the pandemic was handled. I don't know. It's like when it was what's his name, Mark Zuckerberg, put out like a letter or whatever saying that the Biden administration pressured him into like censoring posts on Facebook.
Posts and stuff like that. You can't trust. It makes you not want to. It's just like, what the hell, like situation on that.
Here's the thing: my perspective of it until that point, until I understood that that's like what was happening, because I don't think the government should be intervening in any way. But my perspective was like, yeah, if you own a business, and Facebook is a business, so if anybody else owns a business, if I run like a coffee shop down the corner, and I say, hey, I want all my employees to get vaccinated, well, you can't really like that's not. I don't think that's unethical. I think that is what we have taught our Americans what capitalism is, because businesses are allowed to have their own right, like they're humans.
For sure,
they're treated like humans, literally. When it comes to like taxes and how they're actually corporatized and profitized, but so I mean, like, yeah, I should, like if a business says to you, hey, you got to get vaccinated or you're not allowed to work here, then like that's kind of their prerogative. However, it's like the government should not be telling businesses that they should be doing that, right? Like it's not the government's role to do that, and especially like kind of strong arming them into that. But then it's like I also get really irritated with like the right wing because of like, yeah, vaccines are one thing. I can understand why somebody would not want to get a vaccine. Fine, cool, whatever. I didn't understand the anti-masking, right? Like putting on a mask is like such a small thing. I feel like it's like putting on a hat, like, and you're gonna like, oh, you're oppressing me because you're asking me to put on a hat that might actually like save somebody's life, even if that saved one person's life, and even if it didn't, all you're doing is putting on a hat.
It's no different than having to wear like a helmet. You wear a helmet when you ride your motorcycle or your bicycle, right? Like,
I mean, a lot of people don't.
I know they don't.
And those are the same type.
Those
are the same type of people that are like, I will not wear a mask under any condition. Fuck you. You're gonna. Yeah. What's that?
Or like wearing a seatbelt in the car. Like it's just to try to protect.
But it's the right thing to do, right? Like, sure. But I want people to do the right thing without being forced into doing the right thing, because I think forcing people to do the right thing is not the right thing. That's the weird, like, kind of.
It is definitely like a juxtaposition. Like you don't really know how to. Everything became overly complicated and
right.
Just strange, man. We've had.
I mean, you were talking about like kind of how, all of these, Twitch, streamers kind of, got these like big audiences and stuff. So, I mean, like TikTok, obviously blew up during the pandemic, and that like, kind of, created a new influencer culture for like younger people. And I'm still kind of like trying to understand exactly and this kind of goes back to what we were talking to about earlier a little bit because it is kind of related. Because like for example, Paramount Plus recently like they are now going to be airing all of the UFC events,
Yeah.
right? Like so they are now like obviously linked up with TKO. Paramount Plus got bought out by Larry Ellison, who owns Google, and he also bought TikTok, right? So you see these billionaires, and they are buying all of these platforms. The reason that they're buying these platforms is so they can control who has any type of like influence. Now, and again, like this kind of goes back to what I just said a moment ago. You know, yes, I think we should do the right thing, but we shouldn't force people to do the right thing.
Yeah.
And I don't even know if he's trying to force people to do the right thing. My concern is that he might be trying to force people to do the wrong thing. I don't know Larry Ellison. I know Elon Musk, and I don't like Elon Musk, but like I have very negative opinions of Elon Musk. I have no opinion of Larry Ellison because I just like he wasn't on my radar until recently, and I just haven't really done a lot of digging into who he is or anything like that. But I don't agree with, I don't agree with being able to buy out all of these media. You shouldn't be able to buy like because he's also trying to buy Netflix and HBO, I think. And like like one person should not have that much power to be
Yeah.
able to control all of the information that a vast majority of Americans are getting.
Because Netflix just bought, I believe they bought Warner Media, something like that. I think they bought Warner Media with like HBO Max and stuff like that too.
Hmm.
And a big thing with that is because back to the wrestling standpoint for a quick second, AEW is on HBO Max because they're on Warner Brother Media, but Netflix has this big partnership with WWE. So
So yeah, that makes me wonder, like, if that happened, like, would they have an incentive to be like, oh, we're gonna get rid of AEW and only focus on WWE?
you never know.
That's kind of
AEW just renewed
yeah.
a contract with for I think like 3 years with AEW like last year. So I mean, when the next media rights deal comes up, you'll get a better understanding, kind of visibly see what can or cannot happen. But a lot of that stuff I agree with, man. It becomes scary in a lot of ways with that too. And I don't know if they're like, to be honest with you, I don't think Netflix is trying to take it to just get rid of AEW, right? I'm sure they have
Oh,
another.
I just think that might be like a
No, but it
unintended
just yeah,
consequence.
yeah,
It
it
might
might
be the
be
financially right thing to do for them, and if they think that's true,
exactly.
then
Yeah, so I mean, and then it's like, man, in regards to a lot of that, it's just like football, right? Like you have to fucking spend how much money to watch games?
I'm not even gonna lie to you, man. I haven't watched a single Eagles game this year because it's just like I can't like I can't keep track of all the different like streaming platforms
Yeah,
and where all the games are at. Like
exactly. Like it used to be like you had basic channels and watch it on like Fox and stuff, but then they put games on fucking Amazon Prime and then they put them on Netflix and
yeah,
they
I
have
don't
them
have
on
Prime right now
Christmas.
because
They have them on, man, like it's so strange. So, and then WWE has done a lot of that too because they moved Raw on Netflix and they have SmackDown on USA, and then you got NXT on CW, and then you got the pay-per-views on ESPN, and then you have their tape library on NBC Peacock. So like
right.
you got to spend to watch their content like a good chunk of money monthly just to consume all of the WWE
Right.
stuff because they did
But
standalone
in
deals.
addition to that, then they all like because they're all different companies, right? When they do a raise, all of them do a price raise, but then they all like so if I have like 10 different, platforms that I'm paying for and they all do like a $5 price raise, I'm now paying $50 more. And then they do it again next year and then the next year. And then that's why nobody has any fucking money. Like it's just like it's insane that like
Yeah,
it's like back in the day, obviously, like we grew up with cable and like, you just had all of the programming on one, thing pretty much. I mean, they had premium channels and stuff like HBO and Stars, but you could pay for a package that would get you all that stuff too.
yeah,
They had one package, right? Like, and you get,
it's crazy, man. It's absolutely wild. But what can you do, man? What?
yeah.
Like it's one of those things. Like damn if you do, damn if you don't. Type of situations. I mean, that's why I love having a VPN because I get to watch because they got all the shit in WWE is on Netflix on the international base. So
I mean, then there's a bunch of crap on like Peacock too, right? Like, so there's
so they
like,
just okay. I'm sorry, they just lost So the Peacock partnership just ended actually yesterday, funny enough.
Did it?
So I
Okay.
think the only thing on Peacock left was the tape library. So all the old like pay-per-views and Raws and SmackDowns. I don't know where it is now. It may be on their I don't know actually. They used to have a
Do they
website.
still have the WWE Network or whatever? Because like
No, they
back in the
got rid of that
day,
after they
yeah,
got the Peacock partnership. So I think the tape library is on Netflix now, if I'm not mistaken.
right.
So I mean, it becomes difficult, man, to follow based on a lot of stuff. I mean, like, and it goes with everything. It goes with video games, all the DLCs and
Yeah, yeah.
shit that you got to buy for all of that. Like, buying a game used to be like 30, $40, and now you got to
Yeah,
spend
and
like,
that's the only thing you paid for. You just like got to play the game, and now you got to
yeah,
keep on. You like you can't like, dude. It's such a grind, and they do it like I like I don't play a lot of games, but I play 2K, and like it's an insane like grind every single year to get from like level whatever they start you at like level 60, and you have to get up to like level 99 to even be able to
99.
compete like with other people, and
Yeah.
like but like the amount of time that if you don't pay money, it will take you like months and months before you can really unless you're just
I,
like grinding
I
it out every
stopped.
day.
Yeah, I stopped, man. For that reason, I stopped gaming like probably a couple years ago. Like I
You
haven't
don't you
played.
don't play like WWE 2K or anything like that?
Nope,
Does
nope.
AEW have a video game?
Yeah, they did. It's called Fight Forever. It
Okay.
wasn't really good from what I've heard, but I don't play it, man. I don't have enough time really to do it, but in general, like I don't want to buy a PS5 or Xbox fucking whatever it is called.
Right.
Like the only ones I have a PS4 collecting dust, right?
Yeah.
And then
I
my
have an
wife,
Xbox One, I think. I might be wrong, but I think it's a Xbox One.
yeah, and then
I don't
my
need
wife
I
has
don't need
like the
anything else, man. I'm
handheld like
good.
Switch. Maybe when my son gets older, I'll probably get back into it and play
I
like
got a Nintendo 64 too. I'd put them onto that. I'd pull out
exactly
Zelda just-
all the old ones, right?
or the like the Mario Kart or Diddy Kong Racing and
Yeah,
shit.
exactly. But like, I just don't. It's entirely, it's wild, man. And then it's just, I mean, that's the world that we live in, man. So,
Yeah.
but it's wild. Everything is just changed up, man. Even like, I know we haven't got to it, but like, even with battle rap, man. Like, I even feel like it's become like the whole, what is it? I guess with YouTube, right? Because obviously, I feel like a lot of I'm speaking about URL in this sense, and like they weren't making. I'm assuming they weren't making a lot of money off of
YouTube, probably not now.
YouTube, right? So that's why they went to because there's subscription based too with all the battles, and I mean it probably works out. I mean, if how many? So how much does a URL battle get? 1 million views, right?
On if it's on YouTube, probably. I'm assuming if it's on the app. I don't
So
know.
I
I'm
don't,
guessing it's
yeah, I
less.
won't say they have 1 million subscribers, but they probably have at least what 200,000, 300,000 subscribers,
I don't know. I would have thought it was more than that, but
maybe more than that. You might be right. I don't man, see. That's the thing, man. I don't
they
even.
got 1.58 million subscribers.
Wow, holy shit. Okay, they make a lot of money.
I mean, when they were like in their prime, like before they actually went to the app, man, they were like, they were putting out a lot of videos that were like consistently getting like a million
Yeah,
views. And like I think I mean, I don't know, my personal opinion is I feel like that is the way to go because
that
like
is the
we
way
are
to go.
not I don't think we're at the point where like a lot of companies what they do very deliberately is that they will take a loss at the beginning of their kind of trajectory because they know that they need to get a big enough subscriber base. Then
Yeah,
when you get to a certain point, then that's when they like kind of go onto the app and they try to start making money off of those people. But for a while,
yeah,
yeah, they
man.
always just
I
like
didn't even
take
realize
losses.
that many subscribers though. He's making a lot of fucking money.
I mean, yeah, like I don't know, YouTube doesn't pay like crazy, so yeah, I
Yeah.
definitely
No, I'm
understand
saying
like the
off of
app
the
is gonna make a lot
URL
more.
app though. He's making a lot of money. I thought does he have 1 million? Did you see the subscribers for the app or was that the
Oh
YouTube?
no, that was for the YouTube.
Okay, all right. I was about to say, I was like, holy shit,
No,
a
no, no, no,
million
no,
subs.
no. Hold on. I don't know how many
I don't
they
think they
got.
probably have it. Like, we might not, that info might not be there. I was about to say, bro, whoa, Smack is like,
I don't know. I'm looking and it's saying that the app has over 100,000 downloads on the Google Play Store. I
okay.
don't, I'm guessing it's under 100,000.
Yeah, I'd probably say close to that, which is still pretty good. I mean, it works out best for them. I mean, they can. they don't have to worry about kind of getting dicked over by YouTube and like how the algorithm and stuff like that too, or with monetizing stuff and whatnot. But man, I don't even know, man. Battle rap itself, to me, it's like one thing that I always found interesting is when when I got the opportunity to work and help Showtime with the management part of it, right?
Right.
Like there like is a and you could probably attest to it because you obviously were part of Showtime with us, but you also got a strong relationship with iBattle and Lex. Like man, local leagues, there's a lot of you got to put a lot into it
Oh
to
yeah.
make something, right? And it's how you kind of do stuff and like it's why it reminds me of independent wrestling. Like you see stuff like that. Like these guys put a lot of money into like getting venues, cameras,
Yeah, yeah.
all of that, man. And a lot of times you don't even make a profit. Like
No, no. I mean, I only did two rap battling events, and like so I threw two of them. They were the LRC events that I did, and I took a loss on both of them. One of them I lost like maybe like $400. The other one I ended up losing about $2,000. And like I did not have like my pockets were not built like that back then. They're
yeah,
not now, but like I can't just like throw out 2,000, but like then I really couldn't do it. But what happened was some of it got away from me. Like I kind of like let a couple other people get into the management like booking process. And like they kind of made like some decisions that I kind of like I was like I don't know if these are great ideas, but they're like kind of over optimistic about it, like yeah, this is gonna be great. Like we got Pat Stay to come out to the DMV, and he was hosting. Like he didn't battle, he just hosted. So
yeah.
but he and I think he I can't even remember, like I think he might have just paid for the flight. I don't know, but like regardless of what happened, we ended up getting a venue that was like way bigger than what we needed. And it ended up costing like a lot of money because like the venue, depending on what venue you go to, some of them have like a drink minimum. So it's like everybody in the crowd has to spend like
That's to spend that much.
$4,000, and if they don't spend that, if they only spend like $2,000, then you got to pay the $2,000 out of your own
Yeah,
pocket. And like that is what happened. That's where most of that money went. And so yeah, it's rough, man, and that's why I kind of stopped doing it at the time, because I couldn't like I didn't have the pockets to do that. And you know, I do want to like I want to like get back to like like booking, especially because like I don't feel like where I'm at in Maryland, there's a lot going on.
right.
Pit Fights is one that they've been around, they've been doing it for a long time, but I
Because
feel
you're
like they
still like
also
not far from Baltimore, right?
yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm like probably like 20-30 minutes away from Baltimore.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, I'm pretty far from like everything. I mean, like Showtime is like a 2 hour drive, I think, especially
They're
because
Showtime's relocated pretty much in Richmond now. Like they got
yeah.
like a whole new operation.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean, Martinez was closer to me, so I was like a
yeah.
little bit.
Well, shit, Richmond farther for me. Martinez was closer to me too, but like nah, they definitely they went through they got a strong team now. Fuse, Fastlane Fame, and Luke Castro are doing good stuff there, and I mean. I'm happy to see that, and obviously, man, I look like man. That's the one fun thing it was though, like setting up matchups and
Yeah.
cards and stuff like that was so fun. Like, because you just your idea, you kind of get to sit back and see like, all right, is this like gonna be a great match like I envisioned it to be, or is it gonna be, a complete mess? Like you kind of just go off the whim, and like there's a lot of like awesome stuff that we've got to see, like when we made the whole 10-year anniversary card, and all of that. But like, you do hit some roadblocks too. Like we've had a bunch of, you know,
I
ma-
mean, battle rap has a problem with like a lot of battlers who want a certain amount of money that they themselves cannot draw.
draw.
And like it's like if I'm selling tickets for like I don't know, $20, or let me tickets are a lot more expensive than that now. They used to be like 10 or $20 when I
Yeah,
when I
around
started.
it's around like 30-40 bucks for events.
Yeah, yeah. But it's like, it's like some people will be asking for like $400 or something to battle, or more than that. And it's like, okay, if the tickets are $40, then that means you have to you gotta bring 10 people. How
So,
many battlers do you
some of
know
these guys
that only
ask for
bring
more than
10 people
URL
to
would
the
even give
venue?
them, man.
10 paying people to the venue. How many battlers do that? even big name battlers don't even do that. Like, I mean, I like unless they're like really advertising themselves. Now, like that's where you have to like start getting your money out of like, YouTube and all those other like markets and
Yeah.
like an app or whatever. But it just like I think if I were to go back and redo it, I would just, I'm not paying anybody unless I know for a fact, they can make more money than than they're asking for. But like otherwise, like I just want to do it for the love, right? Like I don't really
Yeah.
like I just want to I can get a camera, a really cheap venue, and like I can do most of that shit for like, a couple $100 at most. And I could probably turn, maybe like $100 profit like every event or something like
Yeah.
that.
And you just use that, you stacked it up for the next one or whatever it
Yeah,
may
and like
be.
maybe you have like a WrestleMania, by the end of it, you keep that, keep stacking
Yeah.
it up, and you just have a bigger event, and then like,
End of it. And that's the smart way to kind of go upon it. I mean, and then I can't battle rap, man, even though I'm not as in the active like mindset to it and rapping stuff, I still watch battles here and there. Like I watch a lot of the battle shit on YouTube, to be honest with you, like because it comes up and whatnot. And I love how they operate over there and stuff like that. Like it feels like a legitimate like family
yeah.
oriented event every time they do stuff out there. And then like I mean it's the
They
same
also
thing.
just have like a ridiculously like it's complex, but it's really creative, and like it works. Like it's like a structure of how they do everything. Like it's like you have like the Twitter space battlers. So if you've never battled before, you can go and battle on the Twitter spaces. If they hear you and they're like, oh, I think you're really good, then like they can get you like a live battle. If you're really really good, they'll you don't. Let's say you're not good. Let's say you're not good. Then they'll probably put you on like I Battle Black. It's like they don't really
Right.
they don't put that on YouTube, but like they'll it gives you like real life experience, and you can kind of work on yourself. If you are really good, then they can put you on like they got like High Tide and Turbulence. Then they got like they also have like their own like there's something in between those two. Like they have like one-off events, and then they have like their actual like big events like Goda and shit like that.
Right.
And so like it really makes sense to me. Like there's a hierarchy to it, and it allows like battlers, like that's the most important part I think, because like like forget about the money, like because I love rap battling, and I want to see like I want to see it stay around for a long time. I want to
Sure.
see it get more popular than it is. I mean, I feel like right now it's not even as popular as it used to be at
As it
one point.
used to be at all. No, I think
I think there's still like a lot of great battlers. There's a lot of great content, but it's just like, it's just a
I
little
mean
bit
it's
oversaturated.
sad because like if you tell a person that's like a casual battle rap fan or someone who's heard of it, like they're gonna be like, oh yeah, like Murder Mook, Loaded Lux, or they'll
Mhm.
give you like, oh yeah, Conceited, someone like that. But these are like people that a lot of them haven't been active for a decade, like plus or whatnot.
Right.
And the one thing is like I feel like the I think spaces is what you brought up. I feel like that is really become a awesome place. And I thought in the
There's some
beginning
problems with that too, but yeah, yeah, go on.
there is problems with it too. I agree. I think I've heard some stuff in regards to it that I kind of just shake my head, but that's for another conversation. Um, but like I feel like you see a lot of development and stuff like that, or you kind of get an ear of people that you may have never thought of hearing and whatnot. Like like my favorite battle rapper right now that is popular is Eunice. I
Right.
think the dude is incredible, and I know he came from the spaces, and I
Yeah.
was not a big fan of him from the beginning part of it, but I've seen him gradually grow as
Right.
a MC and as a battle rapper, and I really enjoy what he does, especially being on URL. And I love the fact that he's more unique to
Yeah.
like I think that's the thing that's
Well, he's
missing.
himself, and that's
Yeah.
something that's really missing from battle rap right now. I think there's
Yes.
a lot of people who just like, and you know what? I understand it, like, because like I've gone through my own kind of like identity crisis of like who I am as a battler, because like like let's be real, like I don't do the gun shit, right? Like I'm not gangster, I'm none of that shit, but like at the same time, like I grew up in a different era, and also I grew up off of like text battling and shit, so I never really thought too much about like oh, I gotta actually like be the person that I'm like writing a text battle
Yeah.
as. And like so I learned how to like write a lot of like punches, and I'll come up with stuff. I'll come up with a gun bar, and I'm like, whew, this is fucking fire. And it's like I gotta say it. Like I just like it, like I
Yeah.
don't know. But like it's not me. And like I really got like I've always struggled with like trying to figure out what like how to be myself, but also be like what I think is good in terms of a rap battle.
Yeah.
And I think there's probably a lot of people that just aren't even like trying to figure out that part of themselves.
No, and I agree. I feel like a lot of like the authenticity is not there for a lot of people. Like it's like when Twerk hit the big stage, right? And he
Right.
became really popular around like what 2017,
But the thing is,
2018.
twerk is for real, right? Like it's
Yeah,
like
but no, but the thing is, like people, like he had a particular style, right? He had
yeah,
the whole how his I call it like the whole word association shit and how he
right,
punched, but a lot of it was just like the aggressive, nature of how he performs and him just
right.
being a big dude, like a dude his size. Like Twerk is like 6'4", damn near like maybe 275, just jumping around, doing all these like word is like barring you and having a high level writing, but performing it to a high level. But a lot of people were like literally copying the format of his writing and trying to like do that. And it became like, what the hell, man? Like you're literally copying him, or like with Rum Nitty too. Like a lot of people trying to copy how the style of like
Yeah, like the
punchlines and
punching.
stuff that
Yeah,
he
yeah.
does, right? So it becomes whack
Although
like that.
there's a lot of battle, like there's some people, not just battlers, but like fans and stuff that will just kind of like they'll call anybody who punches back to back like a Rum Nitty clone and stuff, and I feel like
Right.
that's not fair because like Rum Nitty didn't invent punching. Like I know he's good at it, he's incredible at it, but even if you look at like somebody like Twerk, like if you go back and watch like his old battles, he started on Showtime, and like he didn't sound the same like
Yeah, yeah.
like he didn't have that same like yelling and shit like he rapped so much different when he first started out in Showtime, and so yeah, I mean like he had to find his style too, but I think too many people just try to do what they're doing. Like, they look at like who are the big people and they try to
It's
emulate that
popping.
rather than make their own shit.
Yeah, because it becomes popular, and like to that point, like there is like I don't disagree. I think there is kind of finding yourself within a battler and finding your style, your cadence, how you write, all of that. But like yeah, like you mentioned, a lot of it is off of a standpoint where it's like there are people like you kind of you. That's where you weed out who's really for real and who's not for real, right? And then I think a lot of it is like the development process too. Like I think with URL, maybe a lot of it now, I don't see as many of the notable like big names that we see on cards as much, right? Like
Right.
I see a lot of people that they've been kind of trying to build and develop. I see
I
that
think I
they
think they've learned that, but like it only came because I think iBattle, honestly, I mean maybe I'm biased on that, perspective, but I feel like
Mhm.
iBattle started doing it and then they were doing really well. And OSBL is another league that did it really
Yes.
well. And like so they saw that oh yeah, we're gonna
I say
we're gonna have to develop
those
new
are the
talent.
two. The if you're talking about like, and I don't mean to call them small leagues, but like smaller than
The
URL
development leagues, right? Like they
development leagues,
get.
yeah, right. And that's the thing. Like I know, like those are two
And
people.
that's not
Like
to say like the term development league doesn't mean that you're not good. You could be
no, but
incredible.
it is. It's one of those points where I feel like I can't speak for a Lex or a Kels, but I know that they have good rapport with URL. Like I've seen them at events, and shit, man, numbers don't lie. You look at the people that are on the card. Sheet happens. Eunice, real sick. Like all these
OSPL is
people
like
are
a
from their
large number of
leagues.
those people. Yeah,
Yeah, they're from their leagues, so they are developing, and you're gonna see the next wave happen. Like I know that dude Los Cream is popping right now. He'll
yeah.
probably be on URL soon. You know,
I mean,
uh,
Appa just did. He is on URL now. I mean, let me see. I think
Appa's on URL now too. He did the
yeah,
little
he's with
tournament thing.
Gary
No,
Alston. That
Gary.
was part of
Gary's a
the
guy from OSBL that
yeah.
I've seen from the like
And
coming up.
Nakim from iBattle is also on there.
Yeah. So like they're like you mentioned, they definitely are like it's like fucking it's like college, right? It's like I battle is Georgia and fucking OSBL is Alabama,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah, I
it's
think that's it's like a pretty accurate description, like college versus like the pros, right?
yeah,
Like
like you see like the players are they have like the Heisman Trophy type of guys on their rosters and they gradually go to the big leagues. And the cool thing is though I love that guys still are able to like rap on small like the leagues that they came up in still to this day. Like to me, it feels special. Like you mentioned, like a WrestleMania like type of card. Like it's cool to see like one of those guys come up on one of the big cards for a Showtime or a OSBL or a iBattle, and it means a lot. Like fans will be like, "Oh shit." Like when Twerk comes back to Showtime, oh shit, Twerk is on the card. Like we gotta definitely pop out. When we booked Twerk versus Lou Castro, everyone's like, oh damn, like they battled each other in the barbershop when they were fucking like 19, 18-year-old kids. 10 years later, they're almost in their 30s and they're battling each other and they're both in the URL and they're at the top of their game. So like stuff like that, it means a lot too. So I mean, I know battle rap is such a I can't even. It's hard for me to try to even critique what it is just because I'm not in it as much. Because I know a lot of people will like. I can't say it's in a bad space because I'm not in it. And from afar, it seems like it is in somewhat of a healthy space because I see.
I think it is. I think it's.
Yeah.
I think it's going in the right direction. I think the fact that URL is trying to bring in new battlers, that is the way to go. I wish they did that sooner, but like I'm glad that they're doing it. And
Yeah.
I think it's really important that these leagues are embracing like Twitch and Twitter and wherever like the new generation of talent is going to be. At the end of the day, I'm getting older, you're getting older, we're all getting older, so it's just like somebody's got to take the reins and be the next.
Yeah, man.
You had the
20-year-old, like it's all these 20-year-old kids.
Yeah, yeah.
21,
It's like
22-year-old
you used to have Hulk Hogan and like Macho Man, and yeah, that's cool. But if you don't, eventually you got to get to the Rock and Stone Cold, and then eventually you got to get to like John Cena and like Roman Reigns and all these other people.
Yeah.
So, it's like it just it has to keep growing, otherwise it's just gonna die. So, but the problem that URL had for a while is they just kind of like kept on like they only wanted to book people who were already the draw, right? And it makes sense because that those are the people that are making money. But at the same time, you also got to like look down the road and be like, okay, how are we gonna make money 5 years from now, 10 years from now, right? Not just like today.
Nah, that's true. That is a very good point. And I'm excited for it, man. You rapped a little bit ago, didn't you?
I had a battle against G Show. I think I don't even remember how long ago it was. It's been a minute, man. I don't know. My head has been all up and down. I wasn't even, man.
Was it this past year?
It got released on iBattle, like a month or so ago. But the
Okay.
actual battle, I want to say, I already forgot when it was. It was like, probably like back. It was Goda, whenever that was. But I don't know. Was it like August or something like that?
Man, I haven't battled in almost 2 years now, bro.
2 years, damn! I thought you had been outside a little bit more.
Last battle I
I mean,
had.
I know you're a dad now, right? So you gotta do the daddy
Well,
thing,
I battled. So the last battle I had was against Slum
right?
Dog.
And he was at Goda. So whenever,
Yeah, yeah. I know. I see him. I think I saw his battle on YouTube. I forgot the guy he battled.
yeah, that was Glowman, I think.
That might be it. I haven't watched it completely. I've seen clips of it. I gotta watch it. So Slum, don't be mad at me, bro. That's dope though. Slum is a great dude, man. Awesome guy. I'm sure he.
No, I really like Slum. He like I remember when I first so I came back to battle rap after taking a hiatus. I went down to I moved to Alabama, then I came back to Maryland, and then that's when I kind of talked to you, and you kind of like got me on a Showtime card. And so at that time, like I was,
He was on that card, right?
what that.
Was he on the card that you rapped on?
It probably wasn't that card, but I did a couple events at Showtime, and then that's when I didn't know Slum at all, like prior to that. But I was talking to him at like an event, and he was like kind of just giving me some advice and stuff because like I was looking for like I had been gone for a while, and I'm trying to like I'm very much like I want to get feedback from people. Like I think that's how I grow because if I just sit here and I'm like I'm the greatest whatever, then I'm not gonna get any better. So I mean, like, and at the end of the day, like, I just like I don't really care too much about like, I mean, I say that, but obviously there's a part of me that wants to be like, appreciated and wants to be like
Yeah.
acknowledged and all that. But at the same time, it's like I also understand that like, okay, for whatever reason, whether it be politics or other shit, maybe it's just me, it probably won't work out that way. But at the same time, I'm focused more on like my own self development and like trying to
Sure.
like be better than I was, in the last battle. But I'm
No,
like
no, no
hypercritical
doubt.
of myself though.
Yeah, I mean, to me, I look at it in that same way. I don't At the moment in life, I don't think I'll ever have that. I had a passion for it at a time, right? When I was in
Right,
my mid 20s, I had a strong passion for it when I first got into it.
right.
And that passion is so far removed. It's been almost 10 years, man. My first battle was against Tay Smutter. That didn't drop, but the first battle that dropped for me, God rest his soul, man, Flo Lee's. I
Mhm.
had that one,
I
and
remember seeing that was the parking lot one where
yeah, the
y'all.
one at Supernova, man, and
Yeah, that's the
I
classic to me, man.
it was, man. Damn, bro. I watched that. I watched that the other week, man. I knew it was funny though. Maybe it's just sentimental because he's no longer with us. I gotta watch his rounds. I don't even watch my rounds, bro. Like I
Mhm.
watch his rounds and specifically for that, man, because I'm just like, I'll never forget the story of that battle was me and him were booked on a whole nother league. I remember Lotta Zay followed me on Instagram,
Mhm.
right? Everyone knows Lotta Zay from Jersey. He was having an event and he saw my like rat like my I remember I was like, yo, I'm a upcoming battle rapper. I don't have a battle, but I made a highlight video from my Tay battle because the footage got fucked up. So I made a
Right.
highlight video from my cell phone footage and I put it on my own personal YouTube page. He's like, yo, this is dope. I'll consider you for it. So he booked me and Flo Lees and we were supposed to battle in Jersey. The event never happened.
Right.
I don't know what happened. I like he just it never went through. And Omega I remember he reached out to Maestro and he's like, "Yo, my boy wants to battle on your shit." He was supposed to battle because he knew Flo Lee's was part of Supernova. He's like,
Right.
"I would love for y'all to like to set this up if you want to." And Maestro, you know, great dude, man. Like me and him are cool now. At the moment, very apprehensive. He's like, "I don't know who this guy is. I don't know
Uh-huh.
if he's reliable. He has no footage." Like I'll ask Flo, and Flo was like, "I'm cool with him, man. I want to battle him. I've seen the little like footage shit, and I already got my rounds ready." So we got to do it on Supernova, and we were on a relatively like bigger card for a local card because I remember it was like that event was like Dot versus Uno Lavos
Right.
was the
Right.
main
Right. I
event.
remember. I made the flyer for that actually.
Yeah, and it was like yeah, Dot was on it. I think Reaper Rel was on it. He battled Luck. So like that was, and then I remember that night I was like, man, I felt like I just felt it felt so fucking cool, bro. I was like, I got all these people I've never met in my life in a cold ass parking lot, but like rap my ass off and people got like respect for me and shit. And
Right.
that's what like at that year I was like, man, I was taking so many battles. I was one of the first local people. I was the first person on Showtime to get invited to rap on We Go Hard because
Right.
Gwitty invited me and Flo after that event. So yeah, man, like I owe him a lot, man. Like I truthfully for my to jumpstart my career, for him to battle me without having no footage and shit. Like
Right.
he at that moment he battled on like Don't Flop and stuff like that. But that attests to the type of person that he was, man. He showed a lot of respect and love, and he was one of those people that really loved battle rap and shit too. So yeah, man, it's crazy. That's 10 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, no. I mean, there's so many things I look back and I'm like, holy shit, was that like 20 years ago, 15 years ago?
I
I'm like,
know,
I'm
man.
fucking old, bro.
I know, bro. So I mean, yeah, like I always tell Fuse, man, like I don't have the want like I will do it if they ask me to because I love to rap and I always will like I love performing more than anything in a battle, but I don't have like I'm not about to like I don't have the want or energy to partake in all of that like shit
There- Yeah. Yeah.
going
There's a lot
into
that
it,
comes
right?
with it sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah, like I don't want to have to communicate in like the groups or be on the space and stuff, and
Yeah. Yeah.
you know, like the face-offs and stuff. Like, nah, I'll do it. Just tell me when it is. I'll have my raps written. I'll shoot you a little promo video if you need me to, and I'm a rap, and then I'm a.
Yeah. I
So
mean, I'm guessing you're definitely gonna battle again, right? Or I don't know. Do you
it,
like do you foresee yourself living a life without ever doing another rap battle?
no, I'll do one again. The thing is this: it has to. I guess you have to either catch me at the right time, or it's got to be a type of a battle that once like I want to do. Like for
Yeah.
instance, like when we were set to battle, right? I was excited for that because I was like, okay, this is going to be like a matchup that I feel like will be a fun one because this is someone that like stylistically like matches up well against me and like it allowed me like going against you. It felt like I could like be more in a creative space because it wasn't off of a standpoint where like like you and me, I have a sense of respect for you, right? So I don't need to try to attack you personally. Like obviously you do personal lines within your opponent, but like there wasn't like real ill will anything
Right, right.
towards that. And I respect you as a writer, so it made me want to elevate myself as a writer. The same thing with Slum. I was excited to do that. So if it's in a matchup that sparks my interest, yeah, but I also understand the pecking order of battle rap too.
Right.
So I can't be picky and choosy at this point, right? Like I don't know where my stock is right
I
now.
mean, honestly, man, you can like just like at the end of the day. So here's the thing. If I were to ever battle again, I mean, I probably will battle again. I don't know when. It might not be for another couple years. I don't know. I mean, one place I do want to battle is OSBL because I've never battled over there.
Same here.
And it's like I might have to reach out to Biggs or something. Try to see if he
Oh
would.
yeah, he'll book you, bro. Big. He always tells me that too, man. He's always like, "Yo," he's like, "You ever want me to like just hit my line and I got you, big."
Right.
Yeah, but no, yeah, because it's something about their league. They just feel so fun, bro. Like
Yeah, yeah.
I just like I like it's the same thing with I battle. Like I would love if ever given the opportunity to rap over there, just because it looks so fucking fun, bro. Like I just
True.
love the fact that they've built a community that you get like legitimately. It reminds me of like
I mean, the
Showtime
people in
when I
the
first
crowd
came into
know how to react, man. They know they're actually
yeah.
like they know how bars work, and they're not like you can get like a random crowd of like and that's the interesting thing because I remember I was like talking to Lex. I wanted to kind of throw an event down in Florida. Just because I was already kind of going there, and I was like, it's just like a thing I wanted to do for fun, and it kind of fell through. But I was 100% all in. I started like I started like paying some people, and I was like that far into it. But I was talking to Lex about it, and like he was like, look, man, you can try to like get a crowd of like 100 people or whatever. You could try to like because like obviously more people equals more money, which is like kind of like a one way to look at it. But he was like. Or you could try to, just be like, all right, we're only gonna have like 40 or so people, but those people are gonna know what the fuck, like they know
Going
how to
on.
react, they know how to, be respectful, and they're not gonna be pulling their phones out during the shit and like all that.
Yeah.
So, and
That's
like
true
I
because
took that for
that
granted. Like it
the
was like,
other
yeah, you're
side
right,
fucks up the footage too. Like
exactly. And the footage is almost everything, man. The
exactly.
footage is what lives on beyond, the day, right? Like the event happens, once, and then the footage will be on the
Lives
internet
on
for
forever. Yeah,
decades.
no, you're right because you're always gonna go back to watch it on YouTube, and if you like, it's one of those things where that's a very good point on his behalf. Like, cause I remember we had a event. It wasn't even a Showtime event, but it was just a random event, and it was Rip, and he battled Jack, and it was for this dude that we were cool with, who's cool with Jack. But he's like a hip hop promoter, right? So he's
Right.
not like a battle rap promoter. He does like music showcases and stuff like that. And we did it at like a bar. Um, and it was like just during a bar night, and it was just a bunch of random people talking over it. Like the crowd was just the footage was really really bad, and the crowd was really really bad, and
Right.
it made a really I felt bad because I'm just like, man, the Rip could have potentially had a really good performance versus Jack in a battle rap crowd. Like this should have probably been in a battle rap crowd, but it didn't. So
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, I feel like you like name so many people, and I'm like, oh, I battle these people. It's like, yeah, I mean, like
you
we're
did
obviously in the
battle rap. I
same,
forgot
we're
about
in the
that.
same area and shit, but like it's still wild because I battled Rip, I battled Flo, I battled you, obviously. Like,
Yeah,
it,
I know who. Shoot, I'm trying to think. We got any other mutual battle opponents?
I don't know. I
Might
would have
be
to look at
it.
your resume.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
either way, how much time you got? Like, I don't want to keep you, all
I probably
day.
got a couple more minutes because my battery about to die.
All right. We can wrap it up. But like, do you have anything that you want to plug or anything like that? I know.
Yeah, man. Well, definitely, man. Thank you for having me, bro. This was
I
a
mean, thank you
cool
for
ass.
taking time out, and everything. I really
Yeah,
appreciate it, and I love and respect you, because like I've known you for so long. It's kind of wild. Like, like I know we don't talk a ton, but like, like we've been in the same scene since what was it, like 2010,
16,
something like
17.
that? Was it I don't know, 16? I'm trying to think. When did you do the battle with Flo? When was that? 2000?
So I battled Flo
Because that
November
was
of
probably the first
20.
time like I became aware of you, I think,
Yeah, I
because
battled him November of 2015, right at the end of
okay, 2015,
2015.
my bad.
So yeah, it was
But that's 10 years, man. That's just not
yeah,
nothing.
it's crazy, man. Like I'm over 10 years. 2016 footage wise is my first year of battle rap, so it's been 10 years. But yeah, man. I mean, like it's wild, man. Like the local battle scene is such a tight knit community and it's grown so much throughout the years. Just as I've seen like the expansion with like Richmond tying into it and Baltimore and obviously DC, Maryland, and then us in Northern Virginia with Supernova at the time and Showtime. It was always cool to see, man. So, hey, bro. I mean, I
I'm
remember we
I'm
used to.
literally just now putting this together. I'm so dumb. Supernova, Nova, Northern Virginia. I did not figure that out until you said it, and I was like,
And
oh,
then it used to
okay.
be Square Circle Battle League with Omega, and he used to run too. So that's where I first rap. But nah, man, I know, bro. I remember you and me. I think I got. I remember you used to do Supernova. You've done battles there, but I
I
remember
did
you
one
used to.
battle. But yeah, I remember you were in the crowd with Luminous and shit, and like that was the one I battled against Rip, I think.
Yeah, that's when you did battle against Rip. I remember. Yeah, yeah. God, Luminous. That dude's like famous, bro. I
Yeah,
know.
his name is Wellen now, but he's
Yeah,
like a Twitch streamer himself, I think, and yeah, I don't know, I don't really like follow him that well,
I
but
don't either, but I just know he has a shit
I
ton
know
of.
he's got a big fan base, yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
Too big
man.
for battle rap now.
I know, way too big for battle rap. But yeah, man. But plugging wise, man, it's for me, man. Wrestling Republic, Shad Talks Graps are my handles on Instagram, X. Follow me on that, man. And then McShaddy on the battle tip. But I'm focusing solely on the podcast and stuff, man. But like I said, bro, I appreciate you having me, man. It's been a pleasure. It's been a fun conversation.
Yeah, man, you too, man. I hope you have a good day. I need to go take a nap or something, man. I just try to sleep off this cold and shit. I don't know what
For sure, man. Yeah, definitely take your vitamins. That's the word.
All right, take care of yourself, bro.
All right, bro.
See ya.